Hi guys, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. I'm James403 and I hope you guys are doing okay. So, we're back in Oxygen Not Included. It's been a while since I've played the game, so I am just having a look around to see where we got to. I have no idea what I was planning to do here. I probably was going to access some of the slime and things like that eventually. We're in an okay place. We've got a decent-ish amount of food. We do have to worry about the heat though, because some of this area is getting rather hot and the plants are going to stop working, which isn't a great thing. We do have some cool areas, which will definitely help. So, next, or new plan. We've got water, we've got showers, we've got toilets. I think our next main concern is the oxygen. We're doing okay for the moment. If we have a look in organic, we've got 8,000 algae, which will last a little while. I'm going to dig out some more in a second. So that will sort of last what we're using for oxygen for a while, but not forever. So what are we doing, or going to do about it? Well, I'm going to open up research. We're going to need a few new researchers. We're going to need this one. We're also going to need this one down here eventually, because I want the air scrubber. The air scrubber removes carbon dioxide, and it uses water. It creates exactly the same amount wastewater as it uses, so, you know, you put in the water and you get the same amount out. So that's fine, you know, that it just removes the carbon dioxide completely from the air, which is awesome. I need these so that I can set the valves so that only a certain amount of liquid can go through. With this particular build of Oxygen Not Included, there's a couple of problems with things like the electrolyzer. At the moment, it doesn't use a full... if we have a look at it, it is in refining. No, it isn't. Where is it? Is it in plumbing? No. It's somewhere. Hang on. I will find it. Ah, there you are. Electrolyzer. So, as you can see, this thing says it uses 1,000 GS. And it's meant to sort of use that gradually, but instead what happens is if you put in more than that, or more than the required amount of water, it will just use it all but only produce one amount of oxygen and hydrogen. So you can overfeed it and it won't sort of stack it and use it slowly. It'll just go, oh yeah, use a little of what you've given me, and then I forgot what you've given me because you're giving me more. So you really want to limit how much you give it to sort of its maximum requirement. And that's why I need the filters, or not the filters, but the, yeah, they are the valves, that's the one. So I need this liquid valve. I'm also going to need an area to do this in. And I think round here might be a good one. Yeah, we could certainly use some of this space. So what am I going to do? I can wall that off and go across here and down there. Cancel those. So yeah, that's sort of my graveyard, unfortunately. So I'll leave that as it is for now. But the area above, I think that's where I'm going to do this. So I can wall off all of this. Oh. And I think that's going to be my oxygen producing area. Do I want it that shape? See, I kind of want to funnel. I mean, that'd probably be a better shape for this. Because obviously the oxygen's going to move up and the carbon dioxide's going to move down. Now this room won't actually produce any carbon dioxide because I'm hopefully going to set it so that my duplicants don't walk in here. But there'll still be hydrogen and oxygen being produced. So the hydrogen should raise to the top of the room and the oxygen should be the lower half of the room. So, you know, the hydrogen will end up going into hydrogen generators and the oxygen obviously is going to be put into the rest of my base. Yeah, that should work. So then I just want to dig out the rest of this room. Perfect. That is going to release a little bit of water into my base, but, you know, never mind. I'm also going to need to move that filter. Then again, with that one there, I shouldn't need to worry too much. So yeah, unpause and let's get started. Now I am going to have airlocks as well. However, I may as well wait for the mechanised airlock. Because that one actually opens faster than the manual one, and it does use electricity. Getting tongue-tied, but you know, if you don't have enough power, then it operates in exactly the same way as the manual one. So, yeah, no need to worry there. Okay. But yeah, on the whole, I think my base is doing okay. These plants are still being stifled. See, that's the problem with the heat build-up. As you can see, something I've found out recently, the starting blocks, the ones that are already built under your printing pod, are at 6.9 degrees. And if you do things really carefully at the start of the game and sort of take your time with it, you can get this whole area at the start of the game really, really cool, which makes a big help later on. Obviously I didn't do that, so whoops. But with areas like this, the Absolite, hopefully I can set up a couple of growing areas that are in the sort of normal temperature range for, you know, my planted fields. So yeah. And water. So everything with these is working fine. Now, at the moment, things like the water purifier need sand. And if we have a look at filtration medium, we have a lot of sand. But that won't last forever. And eventually you do run out of sand. And then you have to do all sorts of awkward things to make contaminated water normal water again. Oh, and printing pod. Let's take a look. Okay, you're a yokel, so you can't do any research. But your learning isn't high. You've got a little digging. Strength's good, construction's good, creativity's good. You're a vomiter, which is the better of the two stress responses. See, vomiter's good because obviously if you use vomiters in the right way, they produce contaminated water, which you can then turn into water, which you can then turn into oxygen, and so on and so forth. Destructive response, they just break stuff. Then you have to try and fix it. And you fix it, they get annoyed again, they break it again. Never-ending cycle. Of the three of you, I like you the most. Elvra. Print. And that brings me up to a total of 10 duplicants, so that's all of my bedrooms filled. You can be deconstructed at this point, and then a new wall can go in your place. Right. I am going to have to watch out for my duplicants being stupid and getting sort of walking up here and then being stuck on a block or something, because let's face it, the duplicants are kind of stupid and they will do stuff like that. Oh, research complete, excellent. Start on that one then, please. Okay, mechanic or mechanized airlock, just there, please. Can also turn that into tiles and put another airlock there. So this will provide sort of a good airlock room that just helps prevent the gas escaping. Because I really would prefer not to have hydrogen in my base. It just clogs up the works and makes things difficult. Let's harvest a couple of these plants. You're all on 9s. Oh no, there's a 5. I found out an easy way to prioritize all the plants properly. If you select the top of the plants but not the plant pot, then it will correctly prioritize all the plants. You didn't prioritize. That worked on every other game I've had, and then this one, no, just flatly refuse. Really? No, you're still not. Oh. Okay. As I say, that's literally worked on every other one of my games, and this one just refuses to. Ugh. Never mind. I'll get to it eventually. These things are working flat out. Now, eventually, this thing will run out of the dirt that it's using. I can get rid of the compost pit then. However, the slime is going to continue to break down as it is. So, I probably want to get rid of it. It's still releasing contaminated oxygen into my base, which is kind of annoying. Ooh, the CO2 here is ridiculously bad. Ugh. Once they dig more of this out, you know, more oxygen will actually go up, but of course the more instructions I give my duplicants, the longer it's going to take them to do all of them. But especially when I've got research set to a high priority. Then again, I do kind of want to get these done so that I have sort of a route to follow. So, yeah. Now, hygiene-wise, for my duplicants, there is also, in medicine, a hand sanitizer. This will sort of make duplicants more happy because they'll be able to clean their hands and stuff before they eat. Unfortunately, it requires bleach stone. And the only source of bleach stone that I've got, one there and one there, both full of chlorine. Now, I'm not sure if the bleach stone is what produces the chlorine, but chlorine is really annoying. Currently, there is no way of really getting rid of it in the game, so it kind of generates its own problems there. Yeah, there's chlorine in here and there's bleach stone, so I think the bleach stone is what actually makes the chlorine, which kind of annoying. Well, I say there's no way to get rid of it. There are a couple, but, you know. And that's something that reminds me. I think in an earlier episode, I said these little morb guys were useless. I stand corrected. They do have a use. They will eat any gas that they're exposed to and turn it into contaminated oxygen. This is one of the ways that you can get rid of chlorine. Just pump it into a room full of the morbs. They'll eat the chlorine, turn it into contaminated oxygen. Now, you might think, well, you know, that's not much use. But then you can turn the contaminated oxygen into normal oxygen through various methods. You know, one of them being the air deodorizer. So it does make sense to have these guys sometimes. So, yeah. Just keep in mind they do spread diseases and stuff like that. So if you do want to keep these guys to use, make sure they're in a separate room or something. Okay. Now I want to deconstruct those and dig out the rest of this room. Then I'll add a piece of floor there once they've finished deconstructing that. There we go. Oh, excuse me guys, bit of a frog in my throat unfortunately. Okay. These are still being stifled. Damn it. How's my oxygen? It's still kind of bad in this area. You know what, I am going to prioritise these, because I would like this section done to try and get more oxygen flowing throughout my base. No, if I put it on a 7, they're still going to research instead, so put it on an 8, so they should come and do it as soon as. There we go, look. With all of them working together at once, it should be done pretty quickly. As I say, that is literally just so more of this carbon dioxide moves down and more oxygen can move up. Because as I say, I'd prefer my duplicants to be able to breathe. It is a benefit to them. CO2's pooling there, eventually it's going to come through. What I can do there, I suppose, I can turn some of these into gas permeable. That'll have the effect of, you know, all the CO2 that's building up here will be able to move down, and the oxygen will be able to move up. So, yeah, that seems like a good idea. That's annoying. Okay, I'll tell you what. Turn that into a 3. Because otherwise it will slowly rot my brain. Okay, oxygen. So we've got the air scrubber and we've got all the other filters. Excellent. So the only research that's actually left now, we've got med bay. No, I don't want to turn it on. So this gives you mesh tiles, which are something like the gas permeable, but they let liquids and gas flow. You've got the rejuvenator to help duplicants that are wounded heal quicker, and you've got an apothecary. So this is what you can use to cure duplicates of diseases. The other thing we've got is temperature stuff. So we've got the thermal regulator, which cools the gas piped through it, and a hydrofan that you can use to basically cool down certain areas. This requires water, this requires power, and it produces a heck of a lot of heat. And it also requires a gas to be actually running through the system. You can get your base really cold using this, if you have enough of them and things like that. So that is another option we've got for the temperature control. We've also got this, which is sort of insulated pipes and things like that. So they stop the gases changing temperature much, from what I understand. Oh, and you also need like insulated wire to connect things to power sources when they're in extreme heat, so maybe the normal wire doesn't cover that. You also get the insulated tiles, which you can use to basically build in a heat-proof room, or, you know, if you put all the things that produce heat in a room surrounded by this stuff, the heat won't get out as easily. So, useful, but not quite needed yet, because our base still isn't boiling hot. It's getting hotter, but it's not like, oh god, it's too hot yet. So yeah. Right, I want to dig that out because it's in the way and it doesn't need to be there. So with that done, that's helping move the oxygen around a little. I think I'm going to need more of these. But that's going to cut into my algae. Wow, we've used almost 1,000. No, we've used... Was that 8.8 when we started, or 8.6? If it was 8.8, then we've used more than 1,000 in the 20-minute episode that I've done. Wow, that's a lot. And for some of that, we were paused. Oh dear. So yeah, my algae reserves aren't gonna last that long. So, kinda need to get this sort of thing up and running as soon as. Otherwise, things aren't gonna go well. They're not going to be able to reach everything from there. If I go up like that, I can then just dig out on the roof. Yeah, that should be good. Yeah, and then once again a ladder down the side, just so they can get... Actually no, I shouldn't need the ladder down that side. Yeah, that should be enough, and then I can seal this off as well. I don't really care if this room fills with contaminated oxygen above it. I can take that out and just put a door there or something. Yeah, that'll work. So I don't actually need that now. No, I said cancel. And deconstruct. I am, however, going to need ladders in the middle in places like that, so that we can actually reach everything. Because they can reach 4 high, so they can cut all this out. Then they're going to need to cut this lot out as well. Tell you what we can do. We can cancel digging out that lot, because then they can dig this out while standing on this. And same for that side. At least then they can cut this lot out while standing on there. Yeah, that should work for now. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. So thank you very much for joining me. Please like, comment and subscribe, and see you later.